What's going on, y'all? It is your boy Gamers Going back here today. Finally, we are back on the YouTube grind, somewhat of a grind at least. We have the basketball tournaments coming up, so obviously I'll be doing a lot of content. I do graduate at the end of next week, basically. That will be my last time taking classes, so my time should free up a little bit until I do get a job. So hopefully we do get some more content out. But here we are with the Big Ten tournament, which will be the first one. Obviously, as you guys know, I know a lot about the Big Ten in terms of me being a big Illinois fan, me being somebody that's been watching Big Ten basketball the whole way since growing up. So, not to say that I'll be right in anything, but basically what I am saying is this is one of the more comfortable conferences I have. One of the conferences that I'm a little bit more comfortable in talking about. But first, we got the Rutgers versus Maryland game. Both teams really underwhelming of seasons. I'm actually going to pull up my phone here so we can get some stats on some of these guys and what they are going to be, and not what they're going to be doing, but like I guess kind of what to expect, the top names for those teams. We first let's look at Rutgers. Rutgers, they are currently being led in points by Jeremiah Williams. Obviously, they still have Cliff Amarui, two guys that could be pretty solid for them. They got a couple nice guys coming down further in the lineup, like Hyatt and Mawat Mogg. He was out today against Ohio State, but we'll see if he ends up playing. And then you get the Maryland side of things. Obviously, you got their guard over there, and Jameer Young, beast of a player. Julian Reese, very good player. And then you still got Dante Scott there. Deontay Scott. They're a little scary of a team. Kind of shocked that they were where they were this season. So with that being said, I do think both teams are okay teams, but ultimately I think this is a game for Maryland to take. If I can type, this is going to be a game. It's going to be over here, eh? Technical difficulties, of course. But this is going to be a Maryland. We're gonna take Maryland. Um, why does it want to be difficult? Just make the thing longer. How about that? There we go. There we go. So Maryland is going to be advancing after the first game. And then let's get to down here. We're going to talk about Michigan and Penn State real quick. Michigan, very, very poor team this season. I'm actually shocked at how bad they were this season. This could be Juwan Howard's last time ever coaching for Michigan. And they got Doug McDaniel. He's been their guy. 16 points per game. Has missed a lot of games. About it looks like 6 games. And then other than that, there's really not much on that Michigan team. There really isn't. And then you look at Penn State. They got a few guys there that are pretty solid. You got Ace Baldwin there. Kanye Clary's not there anymore. He did enter the portal. But I think really you're looking at Ace Baldwin, and you're gonna think that that's gonna be the guy that the team's gonna have to rely on. And with how bad Michigan is, I gotta take Penn State. Just it is a terrible team to watch in Michigan this year. I don't know what happened to Michigan. Like it's bad. It is not good basketball at all. Michigan's just it's a tough watch. And then let's get this one. We're gonna drag this one over up here. Let's go talk about Minnesota Michigan State. I don't really know if there is too much to talk about Minnesota Michigan State. I think Michigan State is a team that, I mean, yes, they are seventh, but I think they are a solid team. You look at Minnesota, a little bit different of a story. They do have a couple guys, Dawson Garcia, Christie. They got a couple guys, but Michigan State, Tyson Walker, you need to win these. You need to win this game here. For Michigan State, and I'm going to go Michigan State there. Then we get to Maryland versus Wisconsin, and while I do think maybe Maryland can do that little first game run, I don't really see them beating Wisconsin. Wisconsin, they're just going to get at you. They got some good shooters on that team. Wisconsin, um, yeah, they got three guys averaging over 10. And then you look at their 3-point shooting, they got a few guys over 40%. And two of those guys are they're playing heavy minutes. And I mean that Wisconsin team's a little dangerous. Could be a little dangerous. And Maryland, I'm sorry, it's over for you. Then you get Ohio State versus Iowa, and this Iowa team, they can score with absolutely anyone in the country. Not really proven today, because today they actually had their lowest season total against Illinois. I watched the game, but I still think Iowa wins this. Iowa should win this. Ohio State, they're an okay team, but Iowa, they can score with anybody. They're a really good, high-paced offense, one of the best offenses in the country. They just got to learn how to defend somebody, but they should be able to outscore Ohio State in that one. We get Penn State, Indiana, and this is going to be the first time I really differentiate from the status quo, because I think one of these teams in the first four is going to make a little bit of a run, and if it's anybody, I think it's going to be Penn State. Indiana, they're playing for behind right now. Indiana needs some big wins in order to get into March and to get into the big tournament instead of being in the NIT. So Indiana's going to have a lot to play for. Penn State, obviously, there ain't no path into March unless they start winning games in the Big Ten tournament and win the Big Ten tournament. Kind of similar situation for Indiana, but ultimately I will go with Penn State to win that one. Even though Indiana does have Kel Elware, who's had a really good season for them, I still think Penn State should. We're not should, but I'm going to go with Penn State to win that game. I don't necessarily know if they should win that game, but we're going to pick them to win that game. And let's move that one up here. And do we even got to talk about it? Zach Edey, Lance Jones, those guys at Purdue, man, I would love to say somebody can beat them. It's going to be a tough task for that team, whoever that team is, to beat them. I don't know. I might have them lose in this Big Ten tournament, but Purdue's going to be a tough task to beat, and I don't know how Michigan State's doing it. Then we get to Wisconsin Northwestern. Northwestern, pretty solid team this year if you look at it. 21-10, had a fairly solid season. Obviously, you got guys like Boo Buie there, some older guys there that are going to really help push you forward. And Wisconsin's got a couple of those guys too, but ultimately, I'm going to go with Northwestern and Boo Buie to get it done. Then we get Iowa versus Illinois. 2 times already this season, Illinois has beat Iowa. It's very hard to beat a team 3 times, but we're going to have them beat them 3 times. I do not believe Iowa has the firepower to hold with that Illinois team. Illinois also can at times be solid defensively. So if they can put out a solid defensive performance like they did today, Iowa's going to struggle. And then we get to the Penn State-Nebraska game. This is going to be a good one. I do think Penn State has a good chance here, but Nebraska has had a very solid season. I mean, they got their point guard, Tamanaga. They got Mass. They got Williams. They got guys that can put the ball in the basket. They got 4 dudes averaging over 10 points a game, and all 4 of them are averaging 12 or more. So they got guys that can score. If Penn State's going to upset, I don't know if you want to play Nebraska, so I'm going to go with Nebraska actually to win that game. And then that leads us to the Final Four of the Big Ten tournament, and we are going to have it be Purdue. Purdue is not losing. They're not losing to Northwestern. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. And then we got Illinois versus Nebraska. I'm going to go with Illinois. Obviously, a little bit of a bias there. Could go either way. I'm going to go with Illinois. And then as our Big Ten champions, we are actually going to, how do I do this? Where should I put the champions? The champions are going right here. Can we change the color? We can't change the color. Okay, how about we just delete that? And this is how we're going to determine the champion. We are going to circle our champion. Will it be Purdue? Will it be Illinois? Ultimately, it's going to be the Purdue Boilermakers. Give me Purdue. I think they. Let's do a little bit better of a circle now. Yeah, give me Purdue. Give me Purdue. I know I want my Illinois boys to win. I just don't see how we're beating Purdue. I don't see it, and hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully the boys go out there and they put out a good show. But for right now, I'm gonna go with Purdue. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video.